I am Rohit Antony and I am here to present my case study on the topic Exploring Supplier Sustainability Audit Standards, Potential for and Barriers to Standardization. This is our team, we are three in our team, and this will be the index of our presentation. Our project includes all these titles. Introduction. The global supply chains of multinational focal companies constitute over 80% of world trade. It is sustainability in their supply chains. A mounting body of literature has focused on the importance of purchasing procurement function in FCs and the strategic necessity of incorporating sustainability into supply chain management. Formulating extensive sustainability requirements, analyzing sustainability risk, measuring, monitoring, and improving the sustainability performance of their suppliers, and communicating about their SSCM activities. And about our literature survey, the remarkable growth and massive research activity in SSCM attests to the continued academic significance of the topic, which has also become a seemingly indispensable part of FC sustainability activities. However, particularly in the last decade, sustained critical attention and increasing stakeholder pressure has focused public attention on the negative effects FCs have had by underlining the responsibility that FCs have to improve the sustainability in their SCs. Supplier assessment for SSCM. The most common, easily implemented tool is the Code of Conduct for Suppliers, followed by supplier self-assessment questionnaires and then by more resource-intensive supplier audits. A Code of Conduct outlines a company's expectation of its suppliers' sustainability compliance. Self-assessments and audits can be employed to verify compliance with such codes as well as for sustainability risk management to identify, analysis, and manage sustainability risk and activities within the FC supply chains. The term sustainability audits can entail the following types of audits: CSR audit, social audit, ethical audit, environmental audit, etc. Although we note the use of the term ethical audit, including reference to audits of suppliers' sustainable behavior, we consider that term too broad and open to much interpretation. Hence, for this research, we prefer the term supplier sustainability audit, which makes it clear that the audits are not optional, voluntary audits. The multiplicity of standards and assessments that confront supplier factories can lead to audit fatigue. To gain an appreciation of the vast amount of supplier sustainability, ethical trade service provider SEDEX reported having conducted nearly 3 lakh audits by 2018. From an FC perspective, it can be a very demanding task to assess the sustainability activities for all direct suppliers in their supply base. The OECD guidance also encourages participation in cooperative arrangements among companies. Example, in a common industry to advance SSCM by coordinating tasks including independent audits. And indeed, private supply chain initiatives and associations were found in response to pressure for increased sustainability to fill a gap for such coordinated services. In 2011, OECD first released guidelines for multinational enterprises in which they suggest that FCs engage and encourage their suppliers to improve their sustainability performance. Problem analysis. And on the research approach, a survey of the extant literature revealed no empirical insights into audit activity, neither an analysis nor comparison of audits being employed as part of SSCM. These include an exploration of under-researched phenomena of interest, an account of how to explore the issue, as well as generating findings that may serve as the basis for refined research. Our research began in the late 2017 that have received increasing number of industry initiatives and corporate associations that have developed and aligned their own audit standards for monitoring supplier sustainability. And on data collection, the research on initiatives and associations began in late 2017. The primary exploratory criteria for including SIAs were publicly available audit protocols and audit process information, different industry representation. Data from the following SIAs were downloaded in early 2018: SMETA, PSCI, ICTI, and FWF. The sample was then expanded later in 2018 to include the audit protocols of ASI, GSC, Amphori, BSCI, and RBA. The intensive data collection and initial analysis began in 2018. All audit standards included in our sample were publicly available.
Our exploration of various SIAs and the ensuring depth analysis of the adult process and the comparison of the content of the 8 identified SSAs uncovered a lot of information to get a sense of how much adult activities are occurring and the scope of SIAs activities. We compared data on the number of shared adults conducted yearly by each SIAs. In general, a stable 2 decades, we observed a significant increase in adult numbers over the previous 10 years, with the total around of 10,000 adults reported in 2010 and over 60 adults conducted against the same representative common adults standard by 2019. Next, analysis of subcategories along superior sustainability adult standards. We discuss about the preceding section demonstrated the structural overlap at the level of sustainability categories identified across most or all SSAS. Questions asked a part of each SSAS. In order to present the finding on the limit to the overlap, a much more granular levels of details is required. A more detailed impressions of the granular differences and similarities can be gained by consulting the supplementary material. Next, methodology. We begin our research with the general observation and underlying hypothesis, that is supplier sustainability. Adults are increasing in number and scopes of work life. In the following, we begin with the discussion of our finding and how this finding relate to our assumptions, propositions, and helped us to answer our research questions. Thus, researchers and make suggestions for further research before consulting the section by highlighting the relevance and the implications of practice. Next, research and techniques. Adult process similarity. Our first research question and the main adult process categories and the extent to which this might overlap. Recalling this finding in table 4, our exploratory researcher relevant for 8 SSAs is established newly identified adult processes. Common sense research such as the most adults would help need to be prepared, conducted and the followed up, which is this identified common case confirmed to such as adults. Steps are probably neither specific to supplier adults nor sustainability adults. Adults company landscapes. All SIAs included in our research, apart from FWF, do not conduct the adults themselves and thus are external adulting companies to adult suppliers against the standards. We would some significant overlap along the innovative association in terms of adulting companies whom they partners. There are particular conversations of the companies intake TUVs for etc. Next, solution. Different adult standards cover the different categories to varying degree of detail. This research is not evaluating which standards are better or agreeing on more questions are necessarily a significance of quality, but rather highlighting the detailed difference between standards. Due to constraints long and complexity, it was not possible to compare every subtopics and outlying questions that was possibly present in only one SSAS. Other SSAS were initiating convinced as the tool for social sustainability monitoring. Thus, they did not cover the ecological category is a much detail that all. Next, validation. Complaints with the societal, health, safety, legal and cultural null. Compatibility with environment and sustainability. However, it is important to recognize the many critical voices that questions to effective of adults, specifically on the self-regulating nature of private voluntary self-regulation by companies in general, as generating a types of pseudo-logistical and technocratic digressions from more systematic issues. Complaints with the professional ethics null. Conclusions. Sustainability is increasing, becoming a central tenets of many discourses, and global supply chains are not exception to the trend. This quantitative research focused in depth on sustainability adults as a core element SSCM toolkits. Global FCS are increasingly combining their effort on multiple band SIAS to pull resources, share good practices, and they reduce suppliers, adults, federals, and redundant activities. Next, we see about reference. Some reference are there. Thank you.